This body is not a saint or a guru, nor a sage. This body is beyond that. This body is nameless. It simply exists on behalf of truth, as a version of truth. When I leave, everything leaves. And when I is here, God is here. Thank you. Namaste. I'd like to take this opportunity as the words from Source fade to share with you all a revealing of what lies ahead for possibly you, and to gladly explain that this revelation will engulf your inner body and your complete wholeness, inside and out, with bliss and pure love. This, I trust, will occur through sharing these words that appear to be coming from this voice, this body, but are words from the One. These words are totally for you. Yes, you. Let them go through you. Don't attach. Simply let them go. And then afterwards just wait until you are called for the greatest seeing this body and mind will ever experience. But unfortunately never understand. Keep your own findings within until the sharing of them is requested by this source, like the one that speaks now. Keep them within you. Whatever happens, let it soak. It may take years for you to come back down to this earthly world as a form. But until you do, until you're asked, until you're invited to share these words, your own words, your own experience, your own body, your own self. Simply listen to these words and wait. Whatever, these words will point your mind into the direction of yourself. And from that moment on, you're totally in the hands of the greatest carer of all souls. This moment of speaking is not for ego to destroy what is. The timing of this speaking, of these words, has been directed, authorized from existence, consciousness, bliss, the universal operator of all bodies and mind. So these words are not the doing of the one you hear or the one you see in the screen, but are simply the words from truth that forever and whatever reason wants them to be shared, with the knowledge that another, you are that another, may be destined to this seeing, so that you can fully be present with these words, pulling you into the ocean of bliss, consciousness, existence. Whatever becomes of this one, and whatever becomes of these words, and whatever becomes of you, is not your worry, is not your concern, is not your problem. What will inevitably happen will happen. And deep inside you, you know something is stirring. Something has raised its head. So accept these words. If only to feel humble at the story. And whatever truth is, that it's never not you. You're never apart from this truth. So here it is. A shared revelation of this truth. Of this what is. This body and mind was to be shown something miraculous. This miracle can never be fully explained, fully digested. And these words will not capture it in its fullest. These words will just skim the surface, but they will enhance your willingness to become what you already are. And to become what you already are, it is vital that whatever your journey or enlightenment process that is going on, that to totally surrender to it all and let whatever comes pass with complete gratitude, complete recognition. Let this revelation from this body, let it pass. And when your body experiences it also let it pass. Just as if it is another temporary experience, regardless of the majesty of this one. These words will not come in any significant order. So there may be a wavering. From the experience. But in the world of this one that speaks, not this body, not this mind, there is no order in how the conditioned mind knows what order is. So please excuse. Listen, just listen. And then disregard everything that is said. It is vitally important that you let these words pass through you and not store them in your head. And also realize that this body and mind has been completely destroyed to allow these words to take place. Here I am sounding like a person, looking like a person, appearing as a separate form. Whatever you think I am, it's not that. In the words of one of the great spiritual beings, Ramana Maharshi, not that. Whatever comes, not that. And it has been sensed that once these words are spoken, then this body also will disappear from your world. This voice will disappear from your world. As the job it promised to do on behalf of this source, this absolute, has been fully completed. When Jesus Christ said, "I am the way," these words echoed through every single being that has ever existed. This echoing is ingrained in each one of us. Each one of us, when our time comes, will say, "Yes, I also am the way." This way is not a teaching towards any other to think that this body is of any special breed or type. This way is a universal knowing that we are all the same. And anyway, this body is just the same as every other body. This body like yours, has been created in the same completeness as Christ, Shiva, Muhammad, Buddha, Ramana. St. Francis, Rumi, this way where this source is speaking is back, far back within this body. So extend your arms out and invite this whole existence and non-existence into your heart. Because you are this Christ. But don't grab onto any of it. It's a rocky road, and the mind is terrified. So don't try and grasp any of it. With either of your extended hands, let these hands be free and take everything into the heart. These hands and arms are your path to within. To home. This extending of the arms is what all is eventually meant to do. We call it surrendering, giving up to Source. Inviting everything in. Remember means to invite everything in. Pain, suffering, death, all inclusive. Open up this heart and remain as this hollow vessel, allowing everything to pass throughout the body and mind. This opening is freedom. And the only purpose of this witness that lies beyond your welcoming body of consciousness is to simply acknowledge this passing and to simply witness it with the recognition and why it was created. This body was created for you. This witness. For approximately 3 time years, this body was put through its ultimate test. Body and mind intertwined, tested. Just to recognize what, where, and who it was not. Then it was shown the truth of who, where, and what. It truthfully is. I vaguely remember taking this body to sit within the trees of the forest so it could die with the mind. Many days passed, possibly months. Life and all aspects of life seemed to disappear, seemed to create space just for this. This body went into complete silence, mind completely quiet, totally. Of course, mind gave it many tests. It kept testing itself, testing the body, revealing many revelations, many insights, and much, much joy and bliss consciousness. This body I feel and this mind, they did well, allowing it all to pass. Effortlessly. Not attaching to any of it, albeit so much bliss. The desire of not keeping it passed also. Then I suddenly found myself as the questioner again, asking what was to be the final question. But who was going to receive the answer if one was to come? There was no mind, no body present. This question I now can share. With utmost knowledge that this question was for this body and this mind. And that all other bodies, like Christ's, have their own questions. But I am the way. Was holding everything together. This question came from where I don't know. But you will learn that everything is given to you. Every moment of your time day is given, offered. Very seldom do you take the time to consider what has been offered, and lazily accept all the bad offerings, hoping they pass quick, and attaching to the good offerings. So these words, this question, from where am I looking? And as what? I don't know who asked the question. The question arose from deep, deep within the core of this, not this body or this mind, the core of this, that, this point, this truth. I know these words were not being asked by this body and mind. That body and mind were absent, completely not present, absent from time, absent from presence, completely dissolved in nothingness. Which of course, in this forest, appeared to be everythingness. But of course both nothingness and everythingness represent oneness. So the asker of the question appeared to be the questioner. And this questioner was about to give the answer, like a mirror. A deeper understanding is to know within that whatever happens during an enlightenment, that the body and mind and the inquirer, remember the inquirer also, collectively seem to know that what is going to occur will most definitely occur. However, like any point in your life, mind will want to get into the action. Mind will want to steal the limelight, because it has been fooled all its life by itself. We are too often wanting and desiring too much for this body. You see, over-desiring is not going with what has already taken place. Everything is perfect as it is. So trying to change the unchangeable and inevitable, this mind, like all minds, will suffer. At some point of existence, every mind experiences suffering. Total silence appeared. Absolute nothing. Tranquil. To the very depth of silence. As this body-mind world, the question and everything else dissolved. Time including. Form. Even life. Even the very sense of life. And at one point, a vague recollection is that breath also ceased. For how long? Who knows? It may have been forever. The only thing that remained was this silence. No person there, no mind there, no body, no trees, eyes wide open. And then the question itself dissolved, like ice in water. And then even the water disappeared. The whole thing collapsed. I let this body stand for days within these trees, waiting its final calling. And then, without warning, the calling came. An ultimate explosion, tremor, ripped this body, which of course was already finished off as silence. The body fell to its knees, to the ground, as these immaculate words rang through the whole universe. These words came, not in sound, not in imagery, not in any sense, not from inside, not from outside, from everywhere. The words, one moment, maple, unconsciousness. Then in an instant it was revealed. This whole universe opened up to reveal what no words can speak. No sight can register. The mind cannot digest, understand, recognize, or know what was seen. Because mind was not there. Mind was not present. Body was not present. But something was present at this revelation. And then final words came. The beginning. Let it be. I left this body and mind, whoever I is, whoever this sense that speaks is. I left it and soaked in what remained from this. All this took place in one moment, not a time moment. Timelessness. Nothing was present. No time was present. No mind, no body. Even consciousness left. What was this voice? That's the mystery. But a recognition immediately followed. And there I saw myself in this opening. And that was all. The mind can speak of. This self was not a body, a form, a simple light, a knowing that I was looking at it and from it. Instantly I reappeared in this body, not really wanting to come back into this body. But this body had been perfectly cleaned, totally empty. I realized it was a subtle body, a very soft, sinuous, sensuous body, like a baby being born for the first time. This was to be the rebirth. And then mind re-emerged very softly, returning to this form with the body. An empty mind and an empty body. Back in a formless world that was never to be the same again. Everything was enhanced with peace, freedom, undying love. Love never tasted before. Love not recognized by this body love that we speak of. For 3 years this body had been experiencing bliss, sometimes appearing mind, but this time everything, existence just soaked in the bliss, in this ocean of bliss. Not fluctuating bliss, complete peace, enhanced, everything enhanced, empty and free. The truest knowing, I recollect, was when I was a person, when this body thought it was a person, this mind thought it was a form. On occasions I would imagine falling into this deep sea, where a feeling of fear, separation, drowning, and a kind of ending takes place. Try and imagine this. But since this annihilation of this me, this revelation revealed, I could not imagine anything other than being the totality of the sea. In fact, the totality of the universe. And no matter how hard you try to train the mind back to its singularity, it is totally hopeless. Now, what I said next was thank you. That's all. Thank you. Thank you to myself, to my father and mother. Your father and mother that exists today are your true father and mother. A reflection of your true father and true mother. I also thanked whatever it was that came for a total trust in this body and mind. This body is now back, appearing as mind and form, and able to talk, sometimes as a separate I. And it is now aware that this seeing, this experience, this revelation is not able for any mind to divulge, be it a single or a universal mind. No mind can try and describe or explain what was seen. All that will come out will be nonsense. And to try and come close to this description, well, this body and mind now can feel, can sense what the one that revealed this is trying to say. But it is also laughing, knowing that this mind is useless. So all I can say is, any words that can come even close to this is for you to take every word that exists, every experience, every opposite contradiction, every flower, every fragrance, every being, every breath from every form, and every loving, compassionate embrace. Take all this and everything else together and multiply it with billions of universal galaxies and stars. And that is what it is. What remains now? All that remains is this body and mind was allowed to return. Most would have perished, I think. Return for some purpose. To serve this great one who revealed this self, so that this body can serve it forever, for the remainder of its time life. It is seen now. It is clearly seen now that this revelation, albeit for this body and mind, awaits all bodies and forms. Every single body will have to experience this one before this body perishes. Nothing will be seen. As it was said, when this body perishes, to go to heaven. We have to see heaven here first, before we can take it with us. And this seeing was heaven. Only beginning. No ending. Only the beginning. And the final words, "let it be," was for this body and mind. No more trying. No more wanting, desiring. Just accept everything. Let everything be as it was meant to be. This one speaks and acts every moment through this willing body and this open mind. And this is the payback for mind and body, for allowing such beauty and knowledge to exist within it for the remainder of its purpose. That's the reward, you see. Simply to live out this life empty and at peace and pure happiness, bliss, consciousness, and to remain as existence infinitely. All the videos that have been made are simply ramblings, simple utterings of a truth. This truth is trying so hard to show all bodies the way. And is reflecting through this body and all bodies the same words as Christ. I am the way. These words are the words of this truth, spoken by truth, so loud that it tremors, infinitely on through everything. And one day you will find your body and mind repeating, I am the way. Every time moment now of every waking breath, I simply pay gratitude to this seeing. And whatever is happening now is simply existence taking place within this mind and body, allowing participation in human life like all bodies are meant to. But in the background lies this one. This one is speaking now, using this voice, this mind and this body to pay gratitude to all beings for simply being here, so that it can see through our eyes or vessels what it is. It's as simple as that. This life is simply just an experience of this one. As one. All as one. Being a body with mind. The one who lies within and out with now is this maple. The body, mind, and all other perceived and unperceived is simply this beautiful essence of consciousness. This body, like all other bodies, is both the maple, both this rigid, stable, universal, thing, entwined with consciousness. Together we are the same. That's what was seen. We arrive from the same point at exactly the same time. And this one moment, this one moment beginning is our true nature and our true name. It, as us, is infinite and never not home. Suffering, pain, pleasure and joy, they're all the same, dwelling within us as differing experiences due to mind-based desired thought. That's the only difference. We think they're different. Thought creates differences, and differences create separation. But when we see pain, pleasure, suffering and joy as the same, a contented smile will appear on your body face. This point, this beginning, this point of creation, which dwells in your deepest core inside your being, that is accessible, spews out life, spewing out from the eye. Of this unending, unimaginable, untarnished, untouched, unblemished tower of pure love. The maple and consciousness, the maple is the tower, consciousness the ribbons, dancing around this one, not separate, always attached, and this one holds everything together, this axis. We are simply the witnessing. We are not the true witnesser. We are the witnessing, looking always from this tower of immense light and love. This complete, boundless, infinite, unmoving tower we call God, Brahman, Absolute, Grace, are simply names. Its true name is truth. That. I the maple, S the ribbons. From where am I looking, and as what? Looking where is the one moment? Looking from the maple as consciousness. My question, the question, from self to self, answered fully. 1 year passed before I found this answer, before I realized it took that long for the mind and body to come down. It took that long for the mind and body to resurface back to this ground. In fact, I don't think it's completely landed. But I have shared these words now, so what has been asked by this one has been done. So all these videos, these utterings, these ramblings, I hope this last one gives some clarity. And that whatever you expect will come when you're least aware. The words are now fading, and the knowing is that this body and mind will simply remain on the roller coaster for the home straight. No more bends and loops, just infinite peace and joy. This granted by this one, this truth, through its essence, its love, and its complete adoration for what this body did for it, to see itself. I, this body and mind, are simply a reflection of this truth, like all trying to reflect brilliantly, but coming up against the ripples of all others. Again, also trying hard to reflect brilliantly. But something lies beyond and within. This tower stands, invisible, infinite, upwards, sideways, stretching and stretching, limitlessly, never unattached from anybody. This tower is smiling, laughing, and holding everything in its safeness. This tower that we look from is our home, father and mother, and all who sees from it is here now. This moment, here and now. Everyone who sees from it is this moment. Everyone who sees from it is consciousness. And everyone who sees from it is that. Every video and word done since this is simply a vibration of a continuation of a never broken chain of pointing at each other. But knowing that mind is working tirelessly for self. Sometimes, much too often, appearing as the obstacle. But once your revelation, your realization, your enlightenment has been complete, it will be clearly seen that this mind was never the obstacle. It was only preparing you for the inevitable. You see, only a strong body and mind will be able to take this birth and destruction. Every body and mind is strong enough when you care for it. So it wants to wait. Mind wants to wait until the mind itself, prepares itself and the body for what it knows that may be taken wrongly and taken in the wrong time. It can only happen when consciousness, your consciousness, meets with this moment. You see, it is imperative that all seekers are aware that it is not what they are doing that is wrong. It is just when the point of their own bubble of consciousness reaches its purest state at the time of crossing this brightest light from the towering eye, has to be exact. So time has to be ignored, but discipline has to be adhered to. Keep this inquiry going until this meeting takes place. And then you, the body, mind, and the questioner, with your question will be prepared and merge as meant to be at the perfect moment. Don't miss the bus by going to the hairdresser. When deep inside something is stirring, quietness is desperately being called for. Stay aware. Stay quiet. Stay in the presence. Stay as the witness. The witnessing of all, including ego. And wait. Simply wait. Effortless. Waiting. Mind will test itself like a soldier getting ready for battle. You see, the soldier never goes to battle, not until it's fully armed, ready and prepared for what may come. The soldier is disciplined, aware, trusting, and ready to accept whatever comes at any moment. And whatever comes, the soldier will be there, totally present, willing to live or die for this moment. Now, I want you to ignore all these videos, ignore all these words, including this ones, and find this truth that you are. By allowing this towering love to come through your open arms into your heart, through this body, through this mind, on and on, beyond and beyond. Accept every moment with undying trust and complete gratitude. And it will reveal itself to itself. And remember this. Everything is love. Love comes disguised as pain, as death and suffering. So accept it all willingly. Let everything be inside and outside this majestic body, and let it be as it is. This body and mind, that dwells in. I'll leave you with this. Everything in consciousness passes, but the one moment witness that exists as godly love is unpassable. This stable, unchanging, non-fluctuating love that is never not you is keeping you, the appearing body-mind, and a sometimes person, as always here, always now, and always that unending, towering love and light. Thank you all for this opportunity. For supporting and listening. But thank you more so to the body and mind for fully accepting the pain, the suffering, and the dissolution, but also the pleasure and the bliss that lives it every day. Thank you to this body, this mind, for every moment and every waking and sleeping day. So that which was to be could be. Namaste. Om.